Hello, my name is Matt and with today's Hobie.
Hello.
And we're reviewing Game of Thrones, The Rains of Castamere. We've been waiting for this episode, the 9th in the... Yeah, I've been waiting because I knew what was going to happen. What do you think of the episode overall?
I don't know what to think. I'm still just... I don't know. I've got so many emotions flowing through me.
But yeah, it was a good episode. Did you think it was the best episode of the series?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's got the most impact.
Yeah, true. Well, we'll start off with, because we're gonna talk about each character throughout each character's story throughout the episode instead of going from scene to scene. We'll start with Jon. Yeah, with Jon Snow and Snow and the Wildlings. He basically reveals himself, as Gareth from The Office always said, that he's a crow. What do you think of Jon's sort of story throughout that episode?
I knew it was coming. One way or another, he was going to have to make a choice. It was good to see Gareth from The Office get gutted.
Killed, yeah.
Because I never liked him.
Yeah, no one liked him. His crow got a little attack off on Jon, scratched his face up. What do you think? Alright, we'll move on to Bran and Rickon. I have to tell you, the bit where Bran said, we're going beyond the wall, Osha, take Rickon, that actually did choke me up a bit. I actually just got a bit upset about that. Because I got upset when Maester Lewin was dying as well. Yeah. And that bit was like, oh, that's sad. But what do you think of the bit when Hodor was saying, Hodor, and the lightning was striking, and then he...
I felt sorry for Hodor.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
And
then he sort of just... Bran
took over him.
Yeah.
And calmed him down. Yeah, Bran calmed Hodor down. What do you think of that scene?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it didn't mean much. But
what?
No. This is my point. In terms of the episode, it was just.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, and even after they said no one can do that, you're the only person to be able to do it to a human.
Yeah.
So that's fucking powerful.
Yeah, that is a good.
Could he do it to dragons?
I don't know. Well, yeah, because they're animals.
Well, fuck, it doesn't need to be an animal. He can do it to a fucking human. So.
Well, the thing is that Hodor's a sort of, he's a dopey
Simple,
human.
Yeah.
So it's easier for him to take over Hodor.
Still though.
I did like that those two scenes, Bran's story and Jon's story, came together. Because that happened in the book, obviously. But I did like the idea that those two stories that are over 9 episodes have been building towards something, and they sort of all came together in one sort of thing where Summer and Shaggy Dog helped Jon Snow, and I quite like that scene. I did think the Bran and Rickon thing was well acted throughout, and that's surprising from sort of young people. I think Rickon, there was glimpses of it wasn't bad acting, but I still think it was good enough for how young that actor is. We'll move on to the Khaleesi. Dario is with her now, and his plan is to take Yunkai by sneaking in with a small team and opening the locks like Troy, basically. And but with no wooden horse.
More like Prince of Persia with Ben Kingsley, if you've seen it.
I have to tell you now, I'm actually really liking Ed Skrein as Dario now. He's got the arrogance, he's got the sexiness, he's got, I buy that he's a sort of intelligent sort of fighter. What are your views on
I don't
Dario?
like Dario.
You don't like him?
No, I'm Team Jorah.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, I know you.
I mean, I understand. He's probably a brilliant actor, and like you said, he's got that cockiness, he's got that intelligence and everything. But maybe I like Jorah moment too much.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
But everything, I could so feel Jorah's pain every time when he sort of went behind her, grabbed her hand, and went, "This guy," and Jorah. Yeah. I was like, Jorah, fucking do something, Jorah.
Yeah, this guy wants your woman.
Yeah, exactly. That leads up to she wins the city.
Yeah.
Which you don't see, but whatever. Dario, Jorah, and Grey Worm, who I like Grey Worm. I'm not sure if I said that before. He's alright. He's alright. Yeah, I didn't like, but I've straight away as soon as I saw him fight, I was like, fair enough.
Yeah, because I do like the sort of spear and shield combo.
Shield and spear, I very much like that as well. But yeah, so Grey Worm, Jorah, and Dario. So you've got the leader of the Second Sons, the leader of the Unsullied, and
Jorah.
Fucking brilliant Jorah moment, yeah. So anyway, so you win the city. She's won the city. Jorah comes in, bloody does anything. Like, you could tell he's been fighting. And he's like, we've won the city. And their first thing is, where's Dario?
Yeah.
Or what about Dario?
Yeah, she's obviously falling for him.
Jorah's face. I was just like, No, genuinely, I know.
Yeah. You
the
feel
best
his pain 'cause
the
you've been there
best
before.
actors don't need words. The best actors don't need words. And that's the one scene for Jorah where I was like, I know exactly what you feel right now. I know exactly what you feel.
You know all too well.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. The fight scene where they sort of slipped into Yunkai and then a few sort of soldiers came in.
And a few more.
That fight scene was quite good. It was a good mix of Grey Worm was good, like a good fighter. Dario's sort of eccentric. I can buy it. And Jorah's obviously a bit more wooden in his fighting, but that's obviously...
But that's him.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's a Lord of Westeros at the end of the day.
But I didn't like that I didn't like that when they killed the first lot, and then
it was just another, there was no
How did they survive
rush.
that? Because there's a lot of people there. I know they're obviously good fighters, and there's no budget and all, they have to sort of cut things out, but I would like to have seen a bit more of the sacking of Yunkai. But obviously budget, I can accept that. We'll move on to Arya's story with the Hound. I said to you in the previous podcast that those two will be a good combination. I think they are. I loved it when she said, you think you're a tough guy beating up a old man and sort of assaulting a little girl. I know someone that would kill you. You'd be easy for him, and I really like that because he would.
Who is she talking about?
Jack and the face.
No, I just wanted to make sure. All right.
He would decimate the Hound, and I like that was mentioned, and I like that because Jaqen's one of my favourite characters from season 2, and I like that his name was just a little bit mentioned. We'll move on and talk about what mainly happened. It was all about Robb and Catelyn going to this wedding. I knew this was like the big moment because obviously people that have read the books, they knew it's called the Red Wedding, and we were waiting for this. You probably heard of the Red Wedding because some idiot had posted it on some sort of YouTube comment thing, spoil it for everyone. But what did you think of it?
I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm confused, I'm everything. I'm everything. And
it wasn't better than what the books were, but it wasn't a disappointment. There were bits that I thought were a bit strange, but there were bits like they just started playing the Rains of Castamere. I was like, oh god, this is brilliant. Like Walder Frey, he's brilliant as Walder Frey. He is, he just fits that character perfectly. Catelyn was good in that scene. Robb was good. Yeah, Robb's wife, she was excellent in it. But yeah, what was different from the books was that she wasn't there in the books. She got left behind. Yeah, Robb's wife wasn't there in the book, and she wasn't pregnant in the books either.
So that just adds more gravitas.
Yeah, and it was a shock when that guy just grabbed her and just started stabbing her in the stomach. That was like, Game of Thrones is an 18, and that's one of the reasons. I remember in the season 2, they were searching for Robert's bastards, and they killed that little baby. That's like a shock moment, and that's another shock moment where it's just like, that's just brutal, and that just summed up the wedding for me.
I mean, I completely agree. See, and again, I know I said this before, but good actors don't need words. When Catelyn started just looking around, I was just like, oh god, what's gonna happen? What is gonna happen? And then Lord Bolton, fucking, and she lifted up his thing, and she just went, I can't even watch it again and again because it's all a blur to me. I'm just seeing red. I'm not really that emotional. I don't think, especially when I watch TV, I sort of just sit there. I rarely laugh. When this happened, I spoke. I was like, no. I didn't. It wasn't. I know it sounds dumb. I wasn't like there getting angry at the screen or anything.
Wait. Did you go no, or did you go no?
No, I didn't go no. I literally went, as soon as she slapped him, I went, Robb. I went, no. I just sort of went back a bit in my seat and went, no. And then I just saw hell break. I put a curse on the phrase, and I want to curse the Boltons. And I know you like Lord Bolton.
I do, yeah. And I'll explain that later.
You're near dead to me because you can't forgive that. I mean, even when he said the Lannisters, he was sold out. And everything about him now, I'm just like, you're scum. You are scum.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You know, a lot of people are going to be agreeing with you, but I do agree with you. Obviously, he sold him out. He's not a loyal bannerman. But what I have to say this, I was disappointed. Lord Bolton's one of my favourite characters, mainly because he's sort of devious and he's just pure evil. He is pure evil, and he's one of the most threatening characters in the books. Do not cross him, or else that will happen. But what really annoyed me, and the bit when you said she slapped him because he was sitting there and he
ready to go.
Why was that in that? Because she slapped him and then he ran away. Lord Bolton ran away. He skipped off somewhere. I remember there's the bit where he walks off and then someone sort of notices, oh, he's walked off. You shouldn't have seen him until he just comes out of nowhere and says, the Lannisters send their regards, and then stabbed him. Because that would have been more of a shock. And it just upset me because it sort of made Lord Bolton into more of a sort of a coward, which he's not. But I'm not like you lot. I prefer the Boltons to. I don't like the phrase. No one likes the phrase, but I do like the Boltons. Arya's gone in as well. That's what made it more sad because she was so close. When I read the books, I was like what you were when I read the books. What happened to Rob? But it really upset me with Arya because she was so close to seeing them. She was so close to being with her mum and brother again. But the Hound obviously clubbed her in the back. But what really upset me was when they put the crossbows over Grey Wind's little cage and just shot it. What made it worse is when it wasn't dead and you saw its little face and it went, and then it closed its eyes. That was like, oh.
That was. I mean, even the dog I was invested in.
Because I'll tell what happened in the books. When they turned up, Rob and that turned up at the twins, Grey Wind was going quite sort of vicious and he was attacking any prey it could because it obviously knew what was going on. Somehow it's got some sort of magic power it knew, and it doesn't really explain that in Game of Thrones, but they locked it up. But what they didn't explain, and they didn't sort of make this clear, they were eating sort of what was it, sort of
like rice dish,
rice and something. That's really important because in the lore of Game of Thrones, what it is if you have guests and they eat from your food, that means that you can't do anything towards them. It's like, it's against sort of their religion and stuff like that.
It's like
and that's what makes it worse. And they should have said that in the TV show. Catelyn should have said, now we've eaten, we're safe, because Wilder was not going to do anything. And that's what makes the phrase betrayal even worse, because they break sort of tradition and sort of religious law. And that's what makes the phrase even worse. But I'm surprised they didn't mention that. What do you think of the actual moment? Like the tension between when they started shelling. Well, they stabbed Rob's wife in the stomach, which was just savage.
Yeah.
And then they started shooting Rob with crossbows, and then they shot Catelyn with crossbows, and then Catelyn managed to get a hostage. What do you think of that tension? Because the tension was great.
Everything. I don't. Especially, I want to say the tempo of it. Like the fact that shit's going on, but you can still focus on Rob trying to crawl to his dying wife, and like the look in his eyes when he held her. Yeah. I was like, I can't. God, I'm gonna cry, Max. It was brilliant. Everything. The tension was like, I was on the edge of my seat, literally. Yeah. And like I said, I never get like that. But this was like.
I think what made it worse, and I think you alluded to this, what actually sort of put a lump in my throat is when she said, I'm thinking of a name, and she said Eddard. And at that point I was like, oh, yeah, it got me emotional as well, because that obviously, her story, her being pregnant, is not in the books, and that's an added towards the TV show, and that's perfect. That additions makes it infinitely better. With a lot of Game of Thrones events, it has massive implications, and this is probably one of the biggest.
Yeah.
What do you think are the implications? Because the North is just sort of like a...
Well, there's no Winterfell, there's no Starks.
I remember there's a line in the trailer, and Tyrion says, the Seven Kingdoms united in fear of Tywin Lannister. And that's what it is now. What do you think of the episode overall? Because I think, personally, I always think that the 9th episode is the major one of the season. Like Ned Stark's head was cut off in the first one, the Blackwater fight in the second. I didn't think it was as good as the Blackwater fight, because I was hoping that this episode would be my favourite of all the 3 seasons, but it wasn't. The Blackwater Bay episode was so good. I think that it still wasn't as good as that, and I was not disappointed with it, but I just thought maybe in my heart I knew it wasn't going to be as good as that, but I still think it was a very good episode, and it dealt with the Red Wedding very well. I remember the writers talking about when they first started the show, they were looking forward to this season, and they knew they had to get it right, and I think they've definitely got it right. What are your views on it?
I think I don't know about favourite episode, because how can you say favourite to something that just crushes you?
Yeah.
I think implication wise it's the biggest. What is going to happen now? Because the North is supposed to... You can fit all the other kingdoms in the North.
Yeah. Well, the North comes under... All their allegiances are towards the Starks, and now they're gone. So the North is up for grabs now. It's just sort of like... It's a minefield. But that's what's interesting, and that's what... I can't wait for the next episode. Because I really want to see what Sansa's reaction is to it. And I want to see what... Because obviously Tywin's been planning this throughout.
What happened to Arya next?
Well, that was our review of the Rains of Castamere episode in Game of Thrones. We'd love to hear from you. I'm sure you want to talk about it. I mean, come on, such a big event.
If this isn't commentable, even if this is crappy pod,
yeah.
If you want your views heard, we will listen.
Comment and subscribe. Email us at squarevision@live.com. Visit our website squarevision.co.uk. But we'd love to hear from you. We just need to talk. Hope he needs someone to vent against. Yeah, he needs a friend. He needs all your Stark people out there to talk to him.
What are we going to do? Who are we going to follow?
Yeah. But from me and Hobie, thanks for watching.
Thank you.